Welcome back, Bool Boys Pod. Long hiatus, call it a summer break, if you will, but we're back. Soccer starting soon, so me and Seebs are here to talk about it. How are you, brother? How you doing?
Doing well. Just watching Danilo Gallinari and JaVale McGee wrap up this Ballon-Sister Super Nacional Championship. I think it's going to be Danilo's first senior club championship in his career. So, vamos, Bayamon Vaqueros.
Okay, I thought he got hurt. Am I mistaken?
I think that was like in the NBA season. He's playing pretty
and
well
back. Good for him. Yeah.
I don't even know how he ended up playing in Puerto Rico, but it's rather funny that you just have Danilo Gallinari out there in Puerto Rico, kind of killing shit with JaVale McGee.
Good for both of them. More
Chris
broadly.
Duarte.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a pretty solid team.
More broadly, how are you handling the sports off season?
Well, for people like me, there is no sports off season.
So, what did you fill your time with sports? Tennis, I suppose.
Tennis, that was a while ago. There's always TBT during the summer, which is like the perfect filler program. The basketball tournament, the $1 million winner takes all basketball tournament. We had the Club World Cup, which was it was excellent until the final, which was not.
Chelsea won, yeah.
I turned it off quite early. I was like, I can't. I hate these people.
I was picking up a pizza and I saw it on the. I saw them crushing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was PSG just looked tired. I think we're missing one. There was one more soccer competition in there somewhere that I'm forgetting that I watched, and it's bothering me that I'm forgetting it. But I mean, right now, Champions League qualification has been going on for a while now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're like on the second to last round of it. Second legs of I guess you would call it the semifinals. Kickoff tomorrow, and all of them are tomorrow because UEFA has to clear the decks for the big Super Cup final Wednesday.
Okay. Which is what? Barca and what?
No, PSG and Spurs, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the Copa del Rey. You're right. That's the King's Cup. That's the King's Cup. This is the what cup?
Yeah, this is the UEFA Super Cup.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Which is, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it is Spurs and PSG, I think. That's kind of an interesting matchup.
It is. Yeah.
I hadn't thought of it until now, but yeah, not bad.
Okay. So we're going to do just soccer today. UK soccer. Keep it simple. Just Premier League again. Seebs is Scottish League, so I'm talking about Scottish League first. So the question I posed to you before the pod was, what are you afraid of as a Celtics fan in your team? Like, what deficiencies do you see? What possible way can things go wrong for you guys? So I'll leave it there.
I mean, there's just a constant fear that the board doesn't invest enough in every transfer market or transfer window. I don't think Celtic really did a great job this transfer window, but they still they've kept most of the pieces that they had last year when they won a double. Really should have been a treble, except for the horrific Scottish Cup final, losing to really pretty awful Aberdeen team whose struggles have continued into this season. I don't know. The expectation should always be domestic treble, I'd say. Like, that tends to be the state of the country right now. The fear, I guess you would say, Hearts have new owners. I think Tony Bloom, who is also involved in Brighton, has invested significantly into them. They look really, really strong this year. But through the first two match days, Rangers have really come off the blocks very slowly. Drew their first match away at Motherwell, and then drew their home opener, I guess you would say, to Dundee FC, who really they were pretty awful. This isn't Dundee United, who are like, they're in Europa Conference League qualification right now and had a pretty good result. They're not bad, but Dundee FC were awful, and they look Rangers really should have lost. Got bailed out by what I term a shambolic penalty decision in like the 90th minute. So yeah, they've failed to win their first 2 matches for the first time since since 1989. It's their worst league start since 1989 when they failed to win either of the first 2 league matches. And it's rather enjoyable to see the meltdown. I mean, getting booed as you leave the pitch after a 1-1 draw at home. But you love to hear at the Ibrox the sweet sounds of booing their own players.
I'm just seeing Dillo research, and they have a new coach.
Yeah, they have Russell Martin, yeah.
And is he given any grace for losing or not winning the first 2 games?
No,
I
don't know.
Guess apparently not.
They kind of have to because he's brand new, and I mean Russell Martin, he managed fairly. He was Norwich City's manager for 8 years. That's why I remember him. Okay. Sorry. Southampton's manager for 1 year. He played for Norwich City. I got mixed up. He managed Swansea for 2 years. He's not a bad manager from what I recall. I think, yeah, maybe he's not the best. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, he might not be very good. I'm looking at this now. He kind of he got Southampton promoted in 2023, but then he got sacked the following season in December after Southampton was bottom of the table. So I don't know.
But let's stay on track. So if you were talking about Celtics not having spent enough money, what position would you say is the weakest?
Kind of looks like they've seemed to. The first match was really redundant attacking wise. I felt like they didn't. It looked a lot like an Arsenal match from last year, if you want me to be honest. It was a lot of like dilly-dallying and not getting great looks on goal. They ended up winning it late. Second match was a little better. They lost Kyogo last year, and that's kind of been a problem. Now I think Kyogo's now at Birmingham, so that's good for him. He's with Tom Brady. But they still have Rio Hatate, who's phenomenal. People were really critical of Benjamin Nygren as a signing, but I don't know. I think he's kind of been better than expected. He was better than expected in the second match. First match, I don't think he was really all that strong, but I don't know. I feel like when you win so much, you kind of can fall into this like, do we really have to spend all that much? Especially when finances aren't always the strongest thing at Celtic. It's kind of hard to have strong finances in the Scottish Premier League with the TV deals not really being there. So I don't know. I think they're still the favorite to win, and 6 points from first 2 matches, all you can really ask for, especially when Rangers have 2 points from the first 2 matches. I am curious about Hearts. The Hearts new owner said our expectation is to win multiple Scottish Premier Leagues in the next 10 years, which is a lot of bluster. So we'll see.
Just out of curiosity, I brought it up, but how much do you think Celtic made in revenue last year? Just a ballpark.
I actually wouldn't have a good answer for that.
I was just curious. I have no answer to, but compared to a big team, like a big Champions League team, they generated 125 million.
Yeah, pounds.
And someone like City, Arsenal.
But that's for 2024. Let's see 2025.
Even still, they're like,
yeah.
They're not operating on that much money. So can you blame them? I don't know.
No, I can't. I don't blame them. I don't have the overreactions that a lot of the fan base does. But I think people do worry about stagnation, which is fair. Especially with how the way they looked in the first match, it was a slow start. I don't know. I think people get frustrated because you should be hoping in this new Champions League format to get out of the league stage every single time, I would say. And they did it last year. I think the difference in money coming in when you don't get out of the league stage is quite a lot. So we'll see. They still have to qualify for Champions League proper because the Scottish coefficient really dipped last year. They'll have to play the winner of... off the top of my head. It wasn't a horrible draw, I will say that. It seemed like there could have been worse. Slovan Bratislava, I think.
Oh.
Or Kairat Almaty. No, yeah, I think that is correct. They'll have to play the winner of that tie. Kairat Almaty are leading 1-0 after the home leg, and they'll be playing in Bratislava tomorrow. So they'd be favored to get through that Champions League qualification final and then go into the league stage and hopefully get out of the league stage. Which I'm still not a huge fan of the format, if you want me to be honest. I missed the groups.
We'll give it a year or two. We'll see. But fair enough, and fairly comprehensive rundown of the Scottish Premier League for all. Well,
I don't know. Scotland's kind of having a good moment in European qualification right now. Hibs had a really strong showing. Dundee United had a strong showing in their first leg. So we have two. If we can get 5 teams into Europe, I think that would be really solid.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a break, then we'll get into Premier League. No, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Hello. Welcome back. Now Premier League recap or review. Sorry, preview. A lot of transfer money was spent. Liverpool spent big. Arsenal spent big. Man City spent a lot of money. And then Tottenham and Man U also made a lot of big moves. And there's like this changing of the guard at the top between these 3 teams. And I'm excited to see what happens. We start at hopefully a couple days from when this is released. So what's your first read on Premier League, seeing the preseason games, transfer market movement?
I don't know what you can take from preseason.
You can take that Zubimendi is super dank.
Tremendous. Yeah, tremendous. I really like Arsenal's moves. I think the biggest question we have right now is, do you go Madueke or do you go Martinelli? I was a huge fan of Martinelli, but I'm rather concerned with what seems to be kind of a mental block that he has at this point. I don't know. Maybe he's been overcoached, as people in our fan community love to complain about our team. Mikel overcoaches them. He overcoaches them. But just there's something missing with him in the final third. He's a good work rate, but it feels like he doesn't look at the goal enough. He I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, that's very fair. And hopefully the idea is that when Trossard leaves, there is some adequate replacement. Some people have been saying that Eze is pretty close to coming. I would not be surprised if that happens. I'd be very surprised if this Rodrigo loan goes through. They're talking about at the end, like a deadline deal type thing.
That seems to be a backup option, I would assume.
Well, the thing is, Liverpool are spending, I don't know how much money, and they've spent they spent like 300 million, but they're going to spend more.
They got bailed out though
by Darwin.
Yeah,
Darwin,
which is a fascinating move because, they sold Darwin, and as a result of Darwin getting sold, what was there was like a situation because Newcastle basically got fucked by Darwin getting sold to a Saudi team, if I'm remembering this correctly. There was like something in a roundabout way that the Saudi investment in Darwin opened up. Yeah, Ekitike could go to Liverpool and and get taken away from Newcastle. And in a roundabout way, the Saudis kind of were prioritize their own league over.
That's
Newcastle.
A double fucking though, because Ekite could have been Newcastle's replacement for Isak. So now they have no incentive to sell. So it's like a weird web of what's going on here. But
they're gonna have. I don't know, the Isak situation. It seems like it's been taken out of their hands. The Šeško one, I really wish Šeško had gone to Newcastle, because I have a bad feeling that he's going to flop miserably at United. Even though I say that he'll probably score a goal against us on Sunday, and I don't have a good feeling about Šeško at United. I worry about his development.
That's fair. That's given Man United's track record. Are you saying anything insane? Absolutely not. They've destroyed young players over the course of like last 5 to 10 years. But let's talk about 1-2 from last year, and then we can go to City and below. So Arsenal's key signings were obviously Zubimendi, Gyökeres, Madueke, Norgard, and some other fillers, Mosquera. Yeah, Mosquera. You like him?
Yeah, I like Mosquera. Mosquera's like
yeah.
We saw Kepa briefly, right, against Villarreal.
Oh, maybe. I don't recall.
Which was a disastrous match. I don't know if you watched it. It was not.
What's the highlights?
It was not a good watch.
No, I know. We lost that one. I saw, but so by all accounts, like you would say, we've done really well. The only thing that's missing is like a left-sided attacker and/or attacking midfielder, which as a rumors make sense because he fills both of those roles. But we haven't done really much selling. People are talking about like Zinchenko, then Vieira.
Gotta get that motherfucker off of our team.
Zinchenko, Vieira, Lakanga, some other players too. So once we get rid of those, I think it will open up, so we'll see. That's what I'm looking for from Arsenal perspective. But something that I noticed, and I hate to be a Debbie Downer, is that when I was watching Gyökeres in the latest one he started, that was versus Athletic, right?
Yes. The Emirates Cup, yes.
Emirates Cup. So I was watching that, and it was a little disappointing how his like touch and control were, which is like one of the main criticisms along with his heading. Like he has a very heavy touch. Like when he gets the ball in tight spaces, like his pass isn't that, it's not finesse. And I could see why Šeško was like, might have been preferred by Arteta because that's what he's good at. But then what he does bring is like this banging like striker mentality and someone who makes runs who doesn't make, that none of our players make. So I was like in two minds. I could see why Mikel preferred Šeško, but I'm looking forward to seeing Gyökeres prosper in spite of what I perceive as maybe a slight player flaw. You know what I mean?
I think we needed somebody with his mentality.
It's fucking dark.
Šeško's a little bit languid, which is, as we've discussed about Ozil over the years, like not really my favorite quality.
Sure.
I think
that's fair.
Sometimes Kai Havertz is a bit languid. Not really what I like, but Buff Kai might not be so languid anymore.
Yeah, I know. Right?
What a goal! But
yeah.
Well, that's a side note. Just I thought that Šeško was a higher ceiling but very risky play. I don't
exactly. Yeah.
I think if we hadn't had the runners-up finishes, you could take the chance on a Šeško and really, go for the potential. But because there's so much riding on this year and next year, I think you do have to go with the finish, the proven product, which is Gyökeres. I watched a lot of Sporting this year with a focus on him, and there's just something about his mentality. He's just kind of like a motherfucker, like in the best
exactly.
sense, not in the Zinchenko sense where I mean he's a bad person.
Okay, for sure. But yeah, I was very impressed with Zubimendi in that game as well. He's like Partey, but two-footed. I mean, Partey's two-footed as well, but two-footed, quick, young, and he's able to run past people, which Partey never did, which is nice. Yeah. Like he can find, if there's like someone's pressing too high, he can just like break past them, which is really nice. That's why I was very amazed. I'm very happy with that buy. Madueke was pleasantly surprising. So I'm happy with
I've
that.
always rated Madueke pretty highly. I just found him to be annoying. Like, and you always heard the rumors about, he's not a hard worker, or, his mentality is wrong. But I think when you're that young and the project you were a part of, as Chelsea like to call their team, right? They're a project. Give up on you, maybe that sparks something in you and changes your mentality. Not that he's going to like the boonies, he's going to arguably a club in a stronger position than the one he was at. But I always thought he was pretty talented. I do like his pace. So I liked the Madueke signing when I thought about it more and more. Initially, I was a little bit reluctant to be like, do we really need to
100%.
Yeah,
100%. I feel you. Mosquera and Norgard were both neat and tidy, but nothing amazing, nothing popped out, which is exactly what you need from role players. Yeah,
Norgard's impressed me. Like he stood out a little bit more than I thought he would in this preseason.
Okay,
I don't think he's like a world beater, but he is solid, really solid. And Mosquera's like this. If it works out, he's like a perfect role player because he can play multiple positions back there.
If it works out, it'd be like Rudiger because he's pretty aggro. So
yeah, sure, but he has Calafiori like versatility, I'd say, without like necessarily the skill.
Good call, because Calafiori in that first half was amazing. Pretty buff.
He can love that motherfucker.
Yeah, he's so chill.
I love Calafiori.
I like a new signing too. But the long and short of it is, I look at our squad and I'm very happy. There's like no real major holes besides if you were nitpicky saying our left wing is not as great as a Real Madrid or whatever, like top teams. But besides that, we're one step below. And so, like, we have a pretty solid squad. There's no excuses now. I think they've done everything they need to do, as they would just be the icing on the cake. But what worries me, and is we can transition to the next team, Liverpool, is that Liverpool is spending like a madman. I don't know how. We just talked about Darwin and Luis combined for 120 million in sales, just like that, which is more than we would get any year given with like 5 players. So, like, I can understand that. And what is it? Kirkes, Frimpong, Verts, Ikite, and now they want to buy either Rodrigo or Isaak on top of it. That's like an enormous expenditure. I know they won the league, but surely they can't have that much money to spend. It was a little surprising to me that no one's like flagging this.
The Fenway Group traded away Rafael Devers too, so they have tons of money in cross-sport. When you talk about cross-sport investment,
you notice Bill's salty, like every time Liverpool buys a player, he puts salty like, Fenway does have money. So it is an interesting
thing that I'd like to know if there's any like veracity to, because it does kind of seem that way. But then they signed their hotshot prospect Roman Anthony to like a pretty decent extension. So I don't know, maybe Fenway Sporting Group just has a fuck ton of money. Stan Kroenke has a fuck ton of money. Like, yeah.
But he spent they have spent.
He finally has spent a lot of money this time, yeah.
As opposed to Denver, which I could argue that they should be spending top 5 in salary tax.
They finally did this year, kind of.
Yeah. But back to our Liverpool, it's those 4 guys, and they're going to spend upwards of 400 million. I don't know why they can't generate that. Doesn't that strike you as odd? Can you just answer my question? Like,
it does.
PPP or so whatever it's called, financial fair play, isn't it strike you as odd that they can just do that?
I'd like to know how it happened, but I just always assume that it's probably fine. Like
they're not historically they're not like one of those teams, so they get away with a lot. I don't know, so I don't know. But somehow we're in a better city, I think financially more marketable city. The premier team in that city, I would argue, maybe Chelsea. We'll see. But it just strikes me as odd that we can't spend 400 and we're always like, we have to sell players before we can bring in something to think about. But yeah, their team is going to be really good. I'm just curious how long it takes for them to gel. The essence of that team is pretty much gone besides Van Dijk and Salah. Wouldn't you agree? It's a complete tear down.
Yeah, kind of. I don't. Did you watch the Community Shield?
I did not. I watched the highlights.
I don't know what you can glean from it necessarily, like how seriously you should take it, but their defense was alarming.
Yeah, I did see that as well. That's a good call out. Yeah.
I like Frimpong a lot, but I don't know, maybe if it was just early season needing to gel. He was not necessarily great defensively in that match, and Van Dijk, I mean, he had kind of a nightmarish match.
He's nearly Virgil, 35, like, man. He's nearly
that 35. Is the thing. Like, center backs tend to last, though, the elite ones. 35 isn't that old. I mean, think about the greats like Chiellini. We saw him go until 39.
Gyökeres.
Yeah, these guys, center backs, if they're which Van Dijk is. Like, I'm not saying he's not. Like,
no, he would be the first in that list, but they do lose their pace. That becomes noticeable, and on the transition, they get exposed sometimes. I'm just saying. But you're right. Two attacking fullbacks without Gravenberg, Bosch, whatever his name is, they're going to suffer. And I don't know how much him coming in really solves that, especially if Wirtz is your 10 and he doesn't do anything defensively. Yeah. Really. So they're going to be super dynamic, but I'm just curious how it works out. And also very jealous of how much money they can spend. And I'll be very
spend that on Isak though. That's a lot of money to spend on Isak.
That's like a dynasty play, and I think they should do it. And I would be very upset if they did it.
I'd be upset, but I'd also be like, I don't know. I'm kind of with Carragher on this one, where it's like if you're spending 150 million, you should be getting Mbappe.
I think, I guess, yeah. I would.
And I like Isak a lot. I like Isak a lot, but I don't know that I would be.
I didn't know that was the vaulted whatever number. I had heard 120, 130 was the starting place. I would have paid 135 for him if they can. I just paid 130 basically for Wirtz, and I think Isak is just as impactful for the next 5 years. He's 24 or 25, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're getting his prime. He's a quick player, so you're getting his speed prime, and they would make they want in spite of Nunez. Let's be frank, in spite of any real striker, just like us, it's all Salah. Just because the difference between Salah and Saka is what won them the Premier League in essence, or him getting hurt, whatever you want to say. That production was missing, and that's why they won, in my opinion. A big reason, because Salah is just superstar season, and so imagine them with someone who can complement him and actually outperform, and in some cases that's a very scary prospect for a counterattacking team, and he's great at counterattacking too. And just imagine them without Darwin fluffing all those lines. It's a very scary prospect,
because I really like Darwin.
No, he'll do well, he'll make a lot of money, he's fine, but I'm worried about that. That's why the Ikite signing was very odd to me. If I were them, I would have let Newcastle get him and then spent the money on Isak. And
I've heard the case that Ekitike kind of fits the slot way of.
I don't know much about him, so you could be right. He could be the next Isak. We don't know. Yeah,
I kind of see. I do see that.
Okay. But we've gone through Liverpool, and then maybe just quickly talk about City. They spent a lot of money, a third amount of money, but they haven't really sold anybody. But they kind of had a major changing of the guard. KDB's out, Gundogan's out, I think. I can't recall that actually. But Bernardo Silva's the captain. Stones is out. Grealish is out. Sabinho might be going to Tottenham. So there's a lot of changes, and they've brought in a new goalkeeper. So the new goalkeeper to Ederson is out or on his way out. A right winger, Cherki, a left back, and Reinders. So they're two major signings were Reinders and Cherki. I can't say his name right. Cherki, and goalkeeper, but Naipan was the one for the future. So I think Cherki. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, yeah. But they have money to spend still, so I imagine they'll make one big move. Maybe Rodrigo's the one. I think that's also something to put on the radar. But I don't fear them squad-wise. Like I said with Arsenal, I think there's no excuses for Arsenal. They have a couple of excuses there in transition. I could very easily see the first year Haaland came, where he's just super isolated and they don't the foundation behind him to constantly feed him. I could see games like that. So, what do you think?
If they sell Savinho, we're very lucky.
Oh, you're high on him.
I think Savinho's very, very good. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it would be a massive mistake to give up on him. But they don't make mistakes typically. I mean, maybe
Cole Palmer is a mistake.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they do make mistakes. This goalkeeping situation, it might be a mistake. I know Ederson wasn't great last year, but I don't know if the replacement they brought in is the answer.
He's 32. I wouldn't consider that end of life or end of support for a goalkeeper by any means.
No. Maybe for the style that he's played, though, it is kind of.
It was surprising to me, as well as to you probably. But yeah, I think they have one more big signing. But that we shouldn't forget that they spent like 100 or 200 million in the winter transfer window.
They're still waiting for the result of the trial, though. I think
correct as well, which some people conveniently forget as well. Yes, we're still.
It's fucked up. I actually think it's fucked up to them at this point. Just give the verdict so they're not stuck in this limbo. Because you're having them trot out this team that's nobody knows what's actually going to happen. They can't make their team better. So I don't know. I don't feel too much sympathy for them if they've breached the rules and they're going to be punished severely. But at the same time, you do feel bad for the players who are currently there.
I do, but then I don't, because they'll be amongst the highest paid in the European soccer, regardless of what happens, right?
Oh, yeah.
Even if they don't get Champions League, they're going to be paid twice of what they would have made at any mid-table, or even Tottenham or something.
Well, yeah.
So it's just for Champions League access, I could see that, and I just going to put it on paper. I doubt they get relegated. I don't think it's going to happen. But.
Oh, I don't think they'll get relegated. Yeah, I think we would have heard more rumblings about that. I don't know. Their issue. After the Club World Cup, I don't know how to feel about them, because they looked like the same team from last year. Their defense was still in desperate need of repair.
They need win backs too, so they bought one.
Yeah,
they need to buy a couple more, maybe. We'll see. There's still time. There's still 19 days they have to work, so I expect them to make moves. But the overarching theme for these three teams is that they have a very brutal first 5 games. All of us three at the top. We play each other. We play Man City. I think everyone plays Newcastle. I think someone plays Tottenham. It's pretty brutal. And so we're going to find out very quickly who's prepared, who's going to drop points that will affect it later in the season. Any word on these three teams, or we can go quickly on the next four big teams, and we can wrap it up.
No, I think I feel that we've discussed those three.
Who wins?
I'm not making a prediction.
I think it's our year. I did it last year. It didn't make a difference. So I'm not on wood. I think our squad is dank. I'm very happy.
I do think I will say that even without another move, this should be good enough to win.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, I agree with that. So then we can move to the lesser four, the JV, I suppose. Tottenham, Chelsea, Man U. You can throw
Chelsea are a cut above those, in my opinion.
So let's talk about Chelsea then. So they made a ton of moves too. We don't really have to go into each move indirectly, but what's your read on Chelsea? They won the Club World Cup. You saw them more than anyone else, I think.
They looked solid. It's not like a groundbreaking revelation. I think, when you have a player as special as Cole Palmer, you tend to always have a good chance that, everything rounding into form. Joao Pedro was a really nice addition. It felt like he completed their team when he showed up at the Club World Cup. Delap, I'm a big fan of his. Didn't like that they got him, honestly. Esteval, he's very young, but really, really promising future.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed watching him when he was with Palmeiras.
I think Chelsea's story is more of their transition away from Nicholas Jackson to these two new strikers. Everything else seems pretty much the same.
They're gonna get paid out the ass for Nicholas Jackson.
What? Look who's gonna buy him. Newcastle.
Whoever misses out on, maybe Newcastle. Whoever misses out on these top strikers, because he's surplus now to Chelsea, and he's not. I
He's fine.
He's not.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. People overreact because he has bad montages on the internet. I feel like, but in general, he's pacey. He's good enough.
You know what it reminds me of, and maybe this will bring back some fun memories. He reminds me of Danny Welbeck, like perfectly serviceable, but like he's not. He's gonna have some bad misses. Yeah,
Welbeck
maybe he's
was
just
pretty good.
Okay, well, Welbeck never got 15 goals. Welbeck never got 15 goals in a season.
Really?
Yeah, that's no way.
Maybe I was just like caught.
He was a pressing forward, dude. He just was like dank because his goals were super dank and they came at chill times. But maybe I'm wrong. But that's Chelsea's story,
there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's on Brighton. He still plays. He starts for them.
Hey, good for him.
Man U, anything?
I don't know. I don't know. I like
Cunha.
Buemo. I don't know. And Buemo, I might be a Brentford hater.
And now Šeško. That's the big one. We forgot. We should let.
And Buemo's the big one, honestly. He's the one who is like the safest bet because he is solid. I don't know that he's like the superstar that some people make him out to be. I don't know. They're a team lacking an aura, I feel like.
Correct.
And that is.
They just changed out their front three effectively. So they're going to play those three, Cunha, Mbeumo, and Šeško. They still have the same problems. You're going to play Harry Maguire at the back. You're going to play Casemiro and Ugarte, who can't pass for their lives.
Garnacho's going to be out, correct? He's
Garnacho's on his way out, I think. But like, I think it's going to go a little bit better than last year. I think last year was the bits, but I don't think they'll be top 10, if that's fair to say.
You don't think they'll be top 10?
I know. I think 10 or 11 is right where they're going to be.
Really? I kind of think they're going to be like 7, 8, maybe 6.
They were 14 last year, right? Or 14. Yeah.
Let me think.
Or 15. I can't remember.
Maybe, yeah, I'd say 7th or 8th. I think they have a chance at finishing in the Conference League spots.
Okay, then in no particular order, who's the top 6?
Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea.
Sure.
I don't know. Spurs are such a wild card because I don't know what to think of Thomas Frank.
I'm out on Spurs. I'm not even being biased. I don't think they're that good, man. They lost their
identity. I've not been as a huge of Thomas Frank fan as consensus is. He's a lovely person, but I don't really like how his team's set up a lot of times. When he was at Brentford, I always felt like he didn't give his team a chance to win sometimes. I felt like it was just like survive.
Too respectful of the opponent.
Yeah, that's how I felt a lot of time. But now he's at Spurs, a much different situation, so we'll see.
Is it though?
Yeah, it's a much different situation than Brentford.
Percentage of teams
Brentford are like an economical club who like are doing brilliantly to stay up year after year. They're a really well-run club. Spurs maybe aren't a well-run club, but they have way more finances.
My thing is on the pitch. I feel like the percentage of teams Tottenham has to play up to is slightly higher than Brentford's. Like maybe 5 or 10% higher, or it can be 3 or 4 teams higher. Is that fair?
Yeah. I don't know. Who's your top 7? I guess because I've named 4. After 4, it gets murky. I guess
4.
Newcastle, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah, Newcastle. I would still have Aston Villa. I think they are well coached enough to. I think you'll do better this year because they lost the players, they lost key players, and this is when those types of coaches really like prosper when they have no big names. And I think he's a very Mourinho type. I think they'll do better than anything. Yeah, they haven't spent a single penny, but
and like if you watch, I've watched a few of their preseason matches. It hasn't been inspiring. Neither has Man United, really, to be fair, though. So I don't know.
Brighton, maybe 7.
Maybe I would like that. Maybe Palace. I don't know.
I think you're right. Newcastle, Tottenham, Chelsea, and I would probably say Brighton is my top 8. Sorry, top 7. Top 7. Yeah. And then maybe you're right. Maybe I I'm not giving Man U their fair due. Maybe Man U's more of an 8-9 team as opposed to 11-12 team. But West Ham could be in there, right? Maybe.
I don't think so. I think West Ham's going to be fighting to stay up this year.
Anyone else? I don't think so. Aston Villa has been on the other one.
Really. Yeah.
Nottingham Forest. They were very spicy last year.
They were good. I don't know what their situation is right now. I haven't kept too close of an eye on it.
I think that's it, man. I think it's going to be a very top-heavy league, and that second tier is not as good as last year. That's my read over
the only one I see that could get in there is Chelsea, which I don't love to say, but their coach is really solid.
He is. I don't know. Do you see them as like a budding team that's going to be great, or is it's just going to be they're going to be great this year? Because I don't even see the foundation. Like if they were, I'm more likely to say they're magically going to be good than they're going to be like a 3 or 4 year project where things are building and the team gets better and better and better. Like there's one of these players like João Pedro has to score like 35 goals or something, and they're just going to be great.
That is a good point.
Like I just that's not the way the team operates. So it's like every year is rolling the same dice. Huh?
They're world champions.
They are. I didn't watch a lot of it, but I like the premise. If only it wasn't in the middle of or like summer when players should be resting. That's my own.
I think that there needs to be reworking into the teams that qualify. I thought it was stupid that Red Bull Salzburg were there. That was like my big beef. And honestly,
the team selection. Okay.
Yeah, I like Boca Juniors. Like they're the team I support in Argentina.
Yeah.
I'd have to look into how they qualified because they're honestly like fucking miserable right now. They haven't won a match since April. Like
so bring
I don't know how it happens though.
Bring the qualification window closer to current time, so it's not like they can be dank last year and then come in this year being.
Well, maybe last year would be fine, but like 3-4 years, I don't really understand.
Oh, was it 3 or 4 years? Was it really?
I think it's like Chelsea qualified because they won Champions League whenever that was.
Okay, for sure, dude. Okay, I get it now. To be honest though, I would want.
Was Kai Havertz on Chelsea when they won? He won. That's when they qualified for this edition.
If I were to watch a team like a Man City play, I would love to see them play Boca Juniors. That'd be very interesting to me. Or like see a top tier.
Not right now.
No, if the team was good. If the team was good, like a top tier Argentinian or Brazilian team, I would love to see that.
It was like when Botafogo beat PSG, I think, right? That was one of the ones that was like fascinating.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I should have caught that.
Flamingo Belt beat Chelsea, I think. Like the South American teams were like undefeated through the first 2 match days in group stage.
Oh yeah, I remember Enzo being very salty about that. Like he's like, "Oh, we played 60 games," and Brazilian guys like, "Oh, Fluminense has been like 72 games or something."
Yeah, because he didn't realize that there's 2 seasons in Brazil.
Yeah,
you play your Brasileiro, and then afterwards you play your like regional, like Paulista or your whatever. There's so many different ones. You play all these different competitions back to back. It basically is year round in Brazil. Plus, you have Copa do Brasil.
Mad respect.
I've gotten very into Brazilian domestic football after the Club World Cup because there's not been much else on.
I've been saying it for a long time, but this is the year I'm going to get into championship football and pick a team and really get into the second tier and enjoy it.
Join us, farmer boys, bro. We're trying to get back up to the Premier League, make our stint in the championship.
I'll take a look.
Not as long as it was last time.
Which one identifies with me?
People are calling this Ipswich squad like the strongest championship squad possibly ever, but they did draw 1-1 in their opening match at Birmingham, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But
no, it's a top tier team, like you said. Anything else, Seebs? I think we covered it. This is fun, and I'm now very pumped for Sunday. When Arsenal play Man U. I think this is our year, knock on wood, but I'm very happy and excited for soccer to be back. Final thoughts?
I am a little, I'm normally always a little bit excited, but this year I'm like rather excited for the start of the season, and I'm not really sure what the deal is. Like I'm wanting to wake up for, I think the first match of the season, well, the first match of the season is Liverpool, but on Saturday, I think the first match is kind of a banger, if I remember correctly. The 4 o'clock one. Yeah.
Newcastle.
Villa versus Newcastle. That's such a good match.
Like,
it's like, fuck, I need to try to wake up for that because that sounds like something very worthwhile, like
very, very exciting. Overall, I will say that soccer players do get a short end of the stick though, because it's a pretty short turnaround, man. It's like 2 months.
Oh, especially if you were in the Club World Cup. I mean, Man City have only played one friendly as a result of their participation.
Good. Hopefully it works to our advantage.
Palermo. They played Palermo and they won like 4-0.
And Rotary's not playing for the next month or something.
He's gonna, I think, longer. It doesn't sound good.
Yeah, so they rushed him. Their fault. I'm sorry for the player, but their fault. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Steve, for doing this. Always good to see you, brother. And we're back. Sorry for the seedy nature of my room. No lights right now, but I don't want to get up from this engrossing conversation. So, till next time, we'll see you. Take care.
Peace.